Please welcome Red Hat Vice President and General Manager for the Ansible Business Unit, Satish Balakrishnan.
Good morning. My name is Satish Balakrishnan. I've recently taken over the Ansible business. Thanks for being with us here at AnsibleFest. You probably know that thousands of organizations have been turning to Ansible for well over a decade now. Over the next few days, we have a fantastic lineup of customers here to share their automation insights with you. I've spent the last few months ramping up on the automation business, talking to industry experts, meeting with our customers, partners, and working with the Ansible team. I like to share a few observations from the new Automator for you to consider as you embark on your AnsibleFest 2024 experience. The first, automation is being taken for granted. The value of automation is easy to understand, but lasting, tangible progress too often fails to materialize. Automation seems to be one of those interesting things where people and teams assume others within their organization are doing it, but they don't prioritize it for themselves. This is a pretty understandable phenomenon given the pace of innovation many organizations face. It is only compounded by the tech silos, the tool sprawls, and the complexity teams have to deal with. And yes, it is a real barrier to progress. Ultimately, despite clearly providing benefits to individuals, teams, and enterprises, effective automation is not a given. It takes strategic commitment, organizational discipline, and of course, the right platform. The second observation, Ansible has come a long way. Sometimes when you are very close to something and you're using it every day, you don't appreciate the progress or evolution. From its inception, Ansible gained traction quickly because it made automation more accessible. By making it possible for domain matter subject experts, say in networking, storage, or security, read and write playbooks without requiring programming or Python expertise. Well, that same level of ease, ubiquity, and accessibility also makes Ansible shareable. For example, it helps take the knowledge of one network engineer, makes it available to every application developer in the enterprise, so all the applications follow the same network configuration. This shareability helps teams build real culture around automation. Ansible Automation Platform represents the next logical step in that progression, making Ansible and automation consumable in an organizational setting across individuals and teams. AAP helps businesses trust automation at scale by delivering control, security, and governance. We can now aspire to connect infrastructure, workflows, disparate tools by leveraging the Ansible ecosystem and taking day-to-ops to the next level. Our simple, powerful, agentless automation framework has indeed come a long way. Finally, AI is a natural progression of automation. As you heard this morning at the summit stage, the AI era is upon us. And in speaking to customers, it is clear that every organization wants to embrace AI, or at the very least, minimize the disruption it might bring. In many ways, AI is the next stage of the automation adoption journey. In the context of enterprise IT ops, AI means machines automating processes, machines connecting infrastructure and tools to make them more efficient, and machines making decisions to improve resiliency and reduce costs, like avoiding outages or reducing mean time to resolution. In addition to this paradigm shift in how IT ops is conducted, nearly every tool or platform in your environment is introducing new AI capabilities. The upshot, this will provide you with vast amounts of data, insights, and intelligence. But to make it all actionable, you need to be able to orchestrate it all, and you need to be able to harness the new intelligence to optimize your stack. For any organization looking to ride the AI wave, automation is mission critical. The good news, we are at AnsibleFest. This is the time and place to explore these ideas, to connect with your peers, to learn, and to hone your skills. We are excited to kick it all off, joined here on the Ansible keynote stage today by 3 Red Hat Ansible customers: ADP, Southwest Airlines, and JP Morgan Chase, who have pioneered the adoption of a mission-critical automation mindset. Through their stories, we think you will find that the results speak for themselves. So let's learn from the choices our peers have made so we can all take advantage of the mission-critical mindset. First up, I'm excited to introduce Joe Petroska, Director of Automation and Analytics Tools with ADP. ADP's automation journey is probably a lot like a lot of yours. Usage of upstream Ansible that eventually led to a full Ansible automation platform adoption. But what's cool about ADP's story is how focused they were on their people at every step of the way, an important ingredient in the mission-critical automation mindset. It's all yours, Joe.
Please welcome ADP Director of Automation and Analytics Tools, Joe Petruska.
Hi, I'm Joe Petruska. A couple quick facts about ADP. ADP stands for Automatic Data Processing. Automation is practically in our name. And 2024 marks our 75th year in business. Today, I want to talk to you about how automation and Ansible is proving to be such an essential tool for us. When it comes down to it, it's all about our people. I just told you that ADP stands for Automatic Data Processing, and while that's our official name, we have another name for ADP. We're always designing for people. It's a mantra that is at the heart of everything our technology organization does. Over the last decade with the company, I've been lucky to work with some amazing people who've added so many interesting skills and backgrounds to our organization. Some of these folks have been with us for just a few months, and others for more than 2 decades. Together, we work to develop and operate some of the most impactful products our company offers. While the past decade has brought a lot of collaboration and progress for our organization, it has also brought some big changes. As we've navigated the ever-shifting technology landscape, we've reached a series of interesting tipping points around automation. The choices we've made along the way have had a huge impact on both our IT organization and ADP as a whole. The first tipping point I'd like to tell you about involves our approach to supporting DevOps. We found that many of the tried and true approaches that worked for a long time now felt a bit siloed in the modern era. Our development team's needs were not the same as our operations teams, and finding a happy medium was becoming increasingly more difficult. We started probing for the pain points to find out just where the friction was. Admittedly, there were a couple of areas, but one area that stood out among the others was our internal tooling. We had a few different platforms, but over the years, they had been growing and changing, and features they provided started to come out of alignment with the business. Not to mention, they had their own challenges in terms of supportability and associate adoption. We did some POCs on various platforms, trying each out feature sets. Each one had its own nuance and selling point, but overall, feeling was it was just okay. Finally, we tried Ansible, and it was a game changer. We really liked the open source nature of the tool and that the project had an active community. There are a multitude of reasons why we went this route, but really it came down to how well it empowered our community and the minimum requirements to start using it. Not needing a proprietary client running on the end user's machine lowered the entry barrier enormously. Writing code in YAML made things simple to understand and easier to collaborate on. The ability to use the IDE of your choice was also appealing to our diverse client base. We had found a tool that could bridge multiple gaps. We kept our longtime developers happy by not obstructing their existing workflows too much, while attracting new teams to explore a tool that made their lives easier. Ansible worked well. The teams liked it, but it did come with its own set of challenges. It quickly became clear that we needed more than just a command line utility. Here, there was an opportunity to really build out a platform with this tool at the request of the people using it. Tipping point number 2. We introduced our first AWX service offering. It was small, but scalable. As we progressed, we started to field questions from various teams at different stages of their automation journey. The community was growing organically through word of mouth, and soon there was serious interest by several high-profile teams. They wanted to learn what we were doing with Ansible and what all the excitement was about. We began running internal training classes where we boiled things down to a no-frills crash course on Ansible and the provided web services. We fashioned the training courses to leverage our custom internal tool stack and focused on best practices. We tried to make things as easy to digest as possible by breaking things down into focused modules. These training classes were a big hit. We filled multiple sessions and even traveled internationally to do in-person training. People really wanted to learn more about what we were cooking up with automation. It was during these training sessions that we realized our approach to automation might offer a real opportunity to bring us all a little closer together. Shortly thereafter, the monthly user community meeting was born. We invited teams from across the company to come together to discuss all things related to automation, from teams porting legacy code from the mainframe to teams looking to containerize and orchestrate their entire stack. This was great. Lots of possibilities being exchanged. Content was shared and demonstrated, and most importantly, automation was bringing our people together. The barriers started to come down between the development and operations teams. The ops team now had a single pane of glass to perform many of their daily tasks with results that could be inspected, triaged, and remediated. Product teams had a unified way to establish their internal deployment procedures and rally around one solution. This was an entirely new experience for many of our associates. There was now a single place to manage all their various tasks that they did day to day. The need to manually log into a host and fire some command had disappeared. The strain of configuration management had been offloaded to a reliable code repository, and time between code iterations dropped. Overall, happiness increased and growth exploded. We went from a single team running just a handful of jobs per day to a dozen teams running hundreds of jobs a day to hundreds of teams running thousands of jobs a day. We had really started to make an impact that our people could feel. While this was all going on, things also got easier to manage from an infrastructure perspective. My team was no longer burning cycles, testing and validating agents across every flavor of operating system we supported. The toil of managing these legacy systems was reducing daily, and I, for one, was very happy about that. The day finally came when the decision was made to deprecate the legacy products in favor of the AWX Ansible platform. This was excellent. We were finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. As awesome as this was, and it marked huge progress for us, it was right about this time we started to feel some growing pains. We had rolled out AWX, which we loved. However, as a Fortune 500 company, we were continuing to grow. I admit, I had lost some sleep worrying about our environments. Open source is great, but if the system goes down, who can you rely on for support? We had reached another tipping point. We really needed a production-grade platform backed with vendor support. We introduced Ansible Automation Platform. It was Tower at the time, and it was another success. Even more so this round, as apprehensive teams jumped on board from being initially shy about the lack of vendor support. We are now going places with Ansible that we could not have imagined just a few years ago. Our diverse teams have been finding exciting and useful automation use cases in areas we wouldn't have even dreamed of. We are filling gaps that had previously been completed through manual efforts with automation. We are finding areas to increase our daily productivity through automation, and we are collaborating across the different data silos while we work to tear them down. Today, on an average day, we run more than 25,000 production jobs with continued forecasted growth. Automation is top of mind for our developers and implementers, and it is our plan to keep it that way. With all the progress we have made, we still have work to do. We are constantly moving our own goalposts to see how much more value we can extract from our tooling and how we can better empower our people to do amazing things. Whatever the next automation tipping point we reach might be, we'll tackle it with a people-first approach and with Ansible. Thank you.
Please welcome Principal Technical Marketing Manager for Red Hat Ansible, Colin McNaughton.
Hi, hello. Well, what an amazing story. What an impressive story as well. 25,000 production jobs daily. I just let that sink in for a moment. And I just love hearing what customers like ADP are able to accomplish when putting the entirety of the Ansible automation platform to work. Now, I'm going to take just a few minutes to build on what we just heard from Joe and highlight a few of these features that I think that you should know about. Now, if there's one thing that I've learned about my time with Ansible, it's that content is king. It's what makes that automation go. And this is an area that Ansible Automation Platform truly shines. With a mature catalog of supported integrations and validated content, Ansible Automation Platform offers teams of all sizes and experience the ability to discover the content that they need to tackle these dozens of automation use cases across our IT domains. And the best part, well, the best part is it's all built on a trusted automation supply chain and made available to teams in a centralized and discoverable enterprise-grade location. Now, one key part of the ADP journey was their growth across teams, across domains, to bring their development and operations teams together under a single roof. Now, something really, truly exciting coming to Ansible Automation Platform within the 2.5 release is this brand new unified user experience that will take shareability and collaboration to the very next level. Now, it's going to allow teams to operate more closely than ever before, while at the same time delivering more tailored experiences to meet the unique needs of developers, operators, and platform administrators. Now, if we're talking about leveraging the entirety of the Ansible Automation Platform, I have to mention this one last thing, Ansible CodeBot. It's really awesome to see. As ADP learned, migrations along this automation journey can lead to outdated code, automation code, as best practices and compliance needs evolve. Now, Ansible CodeBot is really awesome because while you are busy creating brand new automation to tackle new problems that arise against your own use cases, CodeBot is busy behind the scenes, improving upon your existing automation content and your entire code base. Now, it watches your project repositories. It makes sure that your teams are formatting their automation content in a predictable and reliable way. And it will submit these pull requests when it finds things that are slightly out of balance, allowing you to maintain a cleaner, more compliant code base with just the click of a merge button. Now, ADP has really taken their automation to the next level and managed to use technology to meet their people in the same place and solve these problems together. And they've done it in a really, truly thoughtful approach. I love to hear about how customers are leveraging the entirety of the Ansible Automation Platform. And I'm really looking forward to hearing Joe and ADP come back and see what they do next. Thank you very much. Have a happy, healthy, and productive time here. And I'll see you throughout the next week. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you, Joe and Colin. I love hearing about the journeys our customers undertake and how they adopt automation and Ansible to meet the unique needs of their organizations. I have no doubt there are exciting things in store as the teams at ADP continue to use Ansible Automation Platform to innovate together. Our next customer needs little introduction. In fact, many of you probably flew with them to get to Denver. I think you're all really going to enjoy hearing about how important automation is to network operations at Southwest Airlines.
Please welcome, from Southwest Airlines, Senior Software Engineers Carlos Tapa and Nicole Ganong, and from Red Hat Ansible, Principal Technical Marketing Manager Colin McNaughton, and Principal Product Manager Daphne Mendoza.
Nicole, Carlos, thank you for being here today. Carlos, can you tell us at high level why you have found automation to be mission critical for Southwest Airlines?
Yeah, it starts with the scale of our operations. More than 4,000 flights a day across 120 airports with over 5,000 network devices to manage.
We're one of the largest domestic carriers. We fly more than 500,000 people per day across the country. If our network isn't up, we really can't transport people to what's important. Our airports need access to all their applications so our staff can get gates ticketed and customers on the plane. When it comes to our IT, our network is almost as fundamental as electricity. It's absolutely essential to our ability to deliver a great experience for our customers and keep the business moving.
Absolutely. Coming back to Satish's point, connectivity is mission critical. Let's dive in now and explore 3 key elements of how network automation comes together at Southwest Airlines. So, Carlos, let's talk about one of the core use cases you all have for Ansible Automation Platform. Your team started with the upgrade process on your Cisco iOS networking devices. Can you talk about how that came to be?
Yeah, so upgrading devices used to be a very long, time-consuming project, taking 30 to 45 minutes per switch. Ansible Automation Platform allows us to make multiple changes in a short maintenance window. We've gone from being able to complete 10 to 15 iOS switches upgrades per maintenance window to be able to do over 100 devices in a single night.
Can you elaborate a bit on why automating network OS upgrades is critical for Southwest?
Sure, of course, as a team, time and resources are always at a premium. And we have really tight maintenance windows. We don't do upgrades with planes in the air. We have a very specific window each night. But as our scale of our operations has grown, our maintenance windows have gotten even smaller. Red Hat Ansible has helped a ton on this. So far, network engineers have used the Cisco iOS update playbook more than 2,000 times to upgrade switches.
Wow. Let's walk through at a high level what the steps are. To contextualize how the update playbooks are able to streamline such a complex and critical process for your teams. We have seen major security vulnerabilities that can be easily fixed by patching. It is great to see how you're moving into an agile and secure network operation, automating the network with Red Hat Ansible. Do you have any big projects coming up?
Yep, at Southwest is embarking on a refresh this year to update the hardware and refresh the code and around 1,500 Cisco iOS switches, as well as we're going to be looking at Nexus in our data centers, and all with the help of Ansible Automation Platform.
Incredible. All right, so Carlos, Southwest has obviously a pretty big and complex IT estate. So let's pivot and let's talk about spinning up brand new infrastructure. So can you tell us a little bit about the golden configurations that you and your team have developed?
Yeah, sure, Colin. As you can imagine, it's really important to be able to onboard new airports as quickly and as cleanly as possible.
Yeah.
When we use Ansible to automate new network devices and switches with our golden configuration, it standardizes and expedites the onboarding process while minimizing errors.
That sounds super compelling. Now, before automating this process of managing and applying standard configurations, how long would it take you all to deploy net new equipment, and what sort of challenges would you run into with this approach?
Yeah, it would be incredibly time-consuming, and in a brownfield environment, it would leave us relying on configuration backups, leaving us little room for error. We really wanted to standardize our configuration across our airports, data center, and our campuses. We feel very strongly that having all of that modularized with an infrastructure as code approach is going to be better positioned for us in the future. Excuse me, Colin, but are you starting the demo?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we could actually see my screen, but I was thinking with the weather this morning here in Denver, I would actually start to get a head start on my trip to Telluride with the family for some skiing. But I was just looking at some flights. I'm sorry again. Why don't you continue on?
Yeah, it's fine. Actually, this is a great transition point. You were just looking at some of our newest routes. Let's back up and imagine we're planning to offer that Telluride route soon. Before we can do that, we need to set up a new deployment on the site at the airport.
I love it, and I owe you one there, so thanks for the clean transition. So what does this process look like for you today?
Yeah, we now have pre-configured setups that provide a baseline of 90% of what's needed at each new location. For example, if we wanted to build a layer 2 switch at Telluride, we'll make it standardized and easy in our data center versus trying to figure out and fly it out in the field.
Of course.
This ensures that anytime we want to deploy something net new, we know it will meet the standards from the start. Then let us focus our energy on cleaning up small mistakes and getting everything fully compliant quickly. The TLDR, we can now run Ansible to set up the core functionality of switches and routers. Then engineers can spend an additional 20 minutes or so on any airport-specific details. This is huge savings of time, energy, and money for multiple teams involved.
Yeah, what a fantastic effort to embark on. So not only can your concept of golden configuration or infrastructure as code assist in greenfield rollouts, but it sounds like you're able to apply this effort to brownfield environments as well, right? Now, in your case, your drift configuration check task can attempt a golden configuration deployment before reverting back to your image backups or your configuration backups. But even this action could be positioned as more of a reflexive or reactive approach to automation. And I wonder if you've implemented a more proactive approach to automation.
Hey, that's funny you should ask, Colin. I'll let Nicole field that as she tells us all about the Nest portal she built.
So Nicole, Carlos just mentioned the Nest portal, which is something we think it's really cool. Can you tell us what that is and how Ansible connects in?
Yeah, of course. The Southwest Airlines NES portal, or the Network Engineering Suite, is a suite designed to give our technology employees visibility into our network. It's grown from that to a one-stop shop for all things network automation for infrastructure employees. This application was built in-house and was built to be fully customizable, hosted in OpenShift. We started out by having monitoring for station health, bandwidth at each station, core circuits, et cetera. And then the game changer was when we started hooking up Ansible as the engine in the background. We were able to start incorporating more self-service tools like a golden config generator, GTM swing tools, and failover tools, and so much more. So our most exciting project to date, we use Ansible playbooks to create health check dashboards that are visualized in the NES portal. Users can go on, and with the click of a button, it collects all the necessary data from all the associated devices and compares it to the expected output. This provides our team with real-time insights into status of services, network configurations, and it allows us to quickly identify and address the issues as they arise. Before, our engineers would have to log in and manually check over 100 command lines just to get the network health status of one application.
Thanks, Nicole. And I'm loving this use case. You are able to consistently recreate the response and sequence that a networking expert would apply when there are issues. Nicole, we just talked about giving greater visibility internally. Southwest Airlines Network Engineer Suite provides the ability for internal technology employees to be able to inspect active state on the network resources needed to run applications. But still, the workflow relies on executing them in a manual approach. Are there any plans to make this more of an event-driven approach?
Well, yeah, of course. We're actively exploring the integration of event-driven architecture into NES. This would allow us to not only pull data on demand and have persistent data, but also react to specific changes or conditions in real time. We'll be able to automatically initiate the health checks and remediations based on the real-time data, moving us towards that really big dream of a self-diagnosing, self-healing infrastructure as code network.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you, Carlos. And something for everyone here to keep in mind is that while we have talked about one set of vendors today, Ansible Automation Platform is a force multiplier. It can do the things we have talked and more for a range of networking solutions from the edge to the data center and the clouds.
Oh, you know what, actually, I'm sorry. I actually thought of one more question, and I don't think I'm coming back out again, so I have to ask it now. So, Carlos and Nicole, do you golf at all?
Yeah, I dabble a little bit.
I mean, some people call me the next Tiger Woods, so.
I had a feeling that's what that red shirt was actually about. I like it. Well, then, both of you, I think this is a good transition from the event-driven approach as well. I challenge you to come out to the Ansible booth and try a little putting challenge, which is event-driven using Ansible Automation Platform. If you get it in the first try, I will also stop texting you about the latest drama between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, I promise. Yeah. But again, thank you very much for being up, and let's go play some golf.
Nice, we'll be there. Thanks.
Sure thing.
Go this way?
Go this way?
Yep, over here.
Wow. That was awesome. Fantastic. Thank you to Nicole, Carlos, Daphne, and Colin. It is truly awesome to see how Southwest Airlines is putting mission-critical automation into practice and how much time, money, and toil they're saving with it. Now that you've heard from ADP and Southwest, I want to come back to that concept I mentioned at the beginning of our session, that automation is no longer a nice to have, but automation is mission critical, and the impact of adopting a mission critical automation mindset. This mindset is basically the opposite of taking automation for granted. It's embracing the strategic opportunity it offers. For me, this mindset is defined by 3 key themes. The first aspect is a commitment to unifying your teams to begin enabling truly strategic automation. As you saw with ADP, when teams are really able to connect with automation to drive efficiency, big things can happen. Knowledge gets shared, ideas get sparked, and silos break down. When the teams responsible for your core functions are operating in sync, you are delivering for the business. The second aspect builds upon the first. When teams get connected and knowledge is flowing, complexity becomes much more manageable. And you can really start to use automation as a force multiplier for your IT ops. So how is automation a force multiplier? 1, by maximizing the ROI of all the other tools you pay for by orchestrating them at scale. Then taking advantage of the insights, data that they generate, and making them more actionable. 2, that it makes it possible to scale the precious subject matter expertise of your teams across the organization. Carlos and Nicole just gave us a great overview of how Southwest is achieving huge gains in scale and efficiency by applying a mission-critical automation mindset to their network operations, using Ansible playbooks as a way to scale. Network engineering expertise across the entire estate. And the third pillar of our mission-critical automation mindset is, unsurprisingly, building an automated foundation for AI adoption. But that is a topic for another day, tomorrow specifically. Join us back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. for our day 2 keynote session. We've got 2 more great customer stories to share, perspective on the role of AI, automation, and the next revolution in enterprise IT, along with a big demo to bring it all to life.